To our next interview for this morning, the Commission of Refugees is still coming up a bit later on in the program. But first, the U.S. Embassy in Windhoek has developed a productive partnership with the Namibian High Court aimed at strengthening the judicial sector. Jeffrey Minear is the counselor of the Chief Justice of the United States and has worked with the U.S. Supreme Court since August 2006. Now, he is primarily responsible for overall management of the court, judicial administration, and court reform. He now joins me in the studio. A very good morning to you, Mr. Minear, and welcome.
Good morning, Ricardo. I'm delighted to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Well, quite a big responsibility you have here. So I'm reading the introduction. I'm seeing quite a huge responsibility you have to play here. Could you just tell us a brief background about yourself before we get into the whole thing itself? Of course.
Sure, I'd be happy to. I was educated in the United States at the University of Michigan Law School. I graduated in 1982. After graduation, I clerked for a federal judge and then went to work for our Department of Justice in Washington, D.C. I spent most of my career as an advocate before the U.S. Supreme Court, more than 20 years. In 2006, the new Chief Justice, then new Chief Justice, John Roberts, invited me to join him at the court and to serve as his counselor. Since that time, I've been working with him on matters of court management, court reform, and administration. And so my responsibilities include the management of the Supreme Court itself, which is a significant organization. It has 9 justices and about 500 employees. In addition, I assist the Chief Justice in his work with the overall judicial system. We have a total of 13 regional courts of appeals and 97 district courts. Those are our courts of first instance. Now, all told, we have about 30,000 employees in our judicial system.
Wow. That's quite a large number. What is your purpose? What's the purpose of your visit to Namibia?
Well, simply put, it's to learn and listen. Our U.S. Embassy has established a close relationship with the courts of Namibia, and they've sponsored a number of visits from prominent judges of the United States, Judge Campbell from the state of Arizona and Judge Gordon Lowe. They have spoken with, particularly with the High Court, and worked on ways to make the courts more efficient. Judge Campbell introduced ideas of judicial case management, and the purpose here is to ensure that cases proceed efficiently through the process, that they do not languish and take too long. He made 2 visits here, and the High Court has already implemented a number of the practices that we use in the United States to ensure that the courts move along very expeditiously. Judge Gordon Lowe was here just in the past couple of months, and he worked with the High Court to introduce the concept of mediation. This is a way of resolving disputes informally with court supervision, but through settlement discussions between the 2 parties, supervised by an independent individual who helps them reach agreement and avoid the costs of litigation.
Well, in your meeting so far, what have you learned about the Namibia judicial system?
Well, first I have to say that I'm just very impressed by the youth, the energy, and the interest in serving the cause of justice and the rule of law. Namibians should be very proud of their court system. There's always improvements that can be made, but you have, I think, people throughout the court system who seem to me to be very dedicated to improving their courts. In my meeting with Minister Nkomo, the Justice Minister, he emphasized the important role that Namibia now has on the world stage, and the fact that it's a signatory to a number of human rights treaties, and the important role that the Ministry of Justice has in ensuring that human rights are protected and that such matters as gender-based violence are addressed effectively. He also spoke very strongly about the need for an independent judiciary, which I found very satisfying. I also met with Chief Justice Chivute. He emphasized to me the importance of sound judicial administration, the fact that it's very important for the court system as a whole to operate effectively, and the important role that the courts themselves have in self-management. I next spoke to the judges of the High Court, and in particular Judge President Damaseb, and he has been a primary mover in improving the court system, and in particular trying to make it more efficient and more responsive to the people. I think he and his colleagues have been very effective in introducing these notions such as judicial case management and mediation. And in fact, I sat in one of his status conference hearings, and I was very impressed by the number of lawyers who had already understood the mediation process and were looking for mediation referrals. This is a remarkably quick transition that's been made since Judge Lowe was here just beginning in April. So the court has been very receptive to what I think and hope will be very effective change.
In terms of this, still talking about change, what are some of the challenges that we need to overcome, especially with regards to the pace of the delivery of justice in the country?
I think the problems, these are problems that exist not just in Namibia, but in the United States. Part of the problem here is cooperation among attorneys. Attorneys need to realize that although they represent different clients, they need to cooperate in making sure that the litigation moves forward effectively. And that's the purpose of case management. It gets the judge involved in ensuring that the lawyers are attentive to the needs of their clients. Likewise, I think there's an important need for settlement where possible. Not every case can be settled, but many can. And it saves money to the clients, and it provides more work for the attorneys in the end if they can efficiently and effectively settle cases. And that's what mediation is all about. What we're looking at right now is we're evaluating how the process is going in Namibia to decide what should be the next steps, what type of training would be effective. One of the things I've heard from members of the bar is it's important that all members of the bar understand the mediation process and understand how it works so that they can all effectively represent their clients. So one avenue of interest is to provide more training to lawyers. Another important matter is to perhaps extend some of these principles beyond the High Court to the magistrate courts. The magistrate courts handle a large number of cases. They handle them much more quickly, obviously, but there might be opportunities to provide additional training and improvements in that process as well. That's what we've been talking about.
All right. Well, in conclusion, of course, seeing as you have quite a, wide variety of experience with regards to the administration of justice, what advice might you possibly have for young aspiring lawyers?
I would give the same advice to lawyers here that I give to lawyers in the United States. First of all, attend to your studies. Learn the law. It's very important to be able to ably and effectively represent your clients. The law is a profession. It's a very demanding profession. It requires hard work. It requires practical experience. It also requires a commitment to the good of the country. That's true in Namibia as in the United States, that lawyers are not just employees, they are officers of the court. They're serving a broader interest and a broad public interest, and they need to keep that in mind as they go forward. One last practical matter, it's good to learn technology. Technology is entering the law just as it is in many other areas. And so it's very good to be literate and knowledgeable about technology, whatever you might do.
All right. Well, thank you very much for making time to come and join us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.